Fortnite Season 3 straight up shattered the internet, but Chapter 8 is about to take things to a whole new level. From the upcoming extraction mode to the most mind-blowing storyline we've seen in years, Fortnite is entering an incredible new era. Geno and the Voyager managed to reboot the Zero Point, turning the Chapter 7 island into a totally unrecognizable melting pot. It's basically a massive gumbo of locations that the Zero Point yoinked from other dimensions. If you look closely, this current island is a wild mashup of the last 6 chapters, and the overall layout looks like a massive explosion crater. Because of that, our coast isn't golden anymore. It's straight up shattered, which is exactly what the map is called in the game files. In total, we got 13 new, or at least heavily remixed, locations on the island. Take the Sanctuary, for example. It packed its bags and moved from the desert straight to the tropics. Even though a lot of the old buildings got wiped out and the Seven's base is way smaller, the main HQ is still standing. You can't hit the basement anymore, but they gave the outside a facelift and planted a garden, giving it heavy Chapter 3 vibes. The craziest detail here is Jones. After the live event, Legend is in a full-blown coma, just floating in a Bacta tank. You can actually pay your respects to him and bag an easy 10,000 XP. Crazy enough, Geno is chilling right there in his visitor getup. The same guy who put our boy to sleep. Why didn't he finish the job? $1,000,000 question. Wonkyland and the Latte Landing are basically the exact same as last season, just trading the mountain scenery for a crisp, full-weather aesthetic. Think upstate New York in October. You'll definitely recognize the old fishing port, now called Calamari Canyon. It got blasted from a gorgeous oasis straight into a dusty desert. The lighthouse and fish shops are still around, but the vibe is completely dead. All the water dried up, and Fishstick's little restaurant on the edge of town is completely gone, and turned it into a lifeless sandbox. Out of the revamped spots, the wildest one is Sinister Strip. The Dark Voyager absolutely took over this place. His old station got nuked during the event, so now he's just flexing his ego all over the city. Statues, propaganda posters, merch shops. It's like Times Square but dedicated entirely to the cube-headed guy. He even did the Sphere dirty, it looking totally defeated holding a sign that says, "Obey the Voyager." And just to make sure it doesn't act up, the cube guy slapped some giant bomb or mind control helmet on her head. Major yikes. Heading down south to the massive tropical biome, we've got Heatwave Harbor. It feels like Miami, lush palm trees, a couple of high-rises, little shops, and a super clean beach. The spot itself isn't crazy special, but the views are absolutely top tier. The southernmost drop is Cluster Coast. Honestly, these names are wild. This mansion is owned by the ultimate crypto bro hustler of the coast, Cluster Duck. The location is pretty standard, but you can't miss the massive duck-shaped yacht parked outside. You can actually throw a rager on the boat to heal up your squad. My personal favorite out of the new spots has to be Sunken Shores. Dropping here gives me instant Chapter 2. Season 3 flooded island nostalgia. Just getting those retro vibes is enough for me to call it one of the best locations this season. Plus, you get an insane view of the Voyager's wrecked ship still burning out in the ocean. Overall, this tropical bay area is definitely the most polished part of the new map. Moving up north into the autumn forest biome, we hit Golden Grove. Calling it a grove is a stretch. It's literally just one of the 7's outposts. Why Epic made it a named location is beyond me, but if you're into that cozy pumpkin spice fall aesthetic, you'll love it, especially the giant tree sitting in the middle of the pond. Frosted Flats popped up right on the ruins of the Ice King's castle. The place is half frozen, and heavy machinery is actively tearing down the old castle walls. The coolest part is the massive ice cream parlor, which feels like a memorial to the late Ice King. So if you were repping him last season, pull up and pour one out over a vanilla cone. The third biome is the mountains, featuring Battlewood. The town hasn't changed much structurally, but it feels completely different. Maybe because of the Hollywood-style Battlewood sign on the hills, or just the new lighting. The real MVP here is the Geek Haven, Oasis Otaku. It's a total fan service paradise, packed with action figures, comic books, a life-sized Mika statue, and the most adorable Klombo plushies ever. Up in the northern mountains, we have the Lifty Lodge. It looks massive from the air, but it's really just a few scattered cabins. Still, it feels surprisingly alive thanks to the snowy slopes and that bougie Aspen ski resort vibe right in the middle of a tropical island. It also hands down gives you the absolute best panoramic view of the entire map. Out west in the wastelands, there's Workshop. It's a tiny dirt track where you can grab a ride. That's literally the only reason to drop here, so just grab your wheels and dip. So, what ties all these crazy biomes together? Dead center of the map, right on the ruins of the Voyager's destroyed station, the restored Zero Point is actively pulsing. Its energy threads are spreading across the whole island, connecting all 4 biomes. Plus, there's a vortex that lets you rift out whenever you need to rotate. But Epic wouldn't be epic without packing the map with insane world building and lore details. There's a massive hidden hideout tucked right into the cliffside south of Heatwave Harbor. Whoever owns this place went all out. It's packed with statues, relics from past chapters, and a full-blown server room. My gut says this mysterious collector is going to be a huge player in the storyline later this season, so we need to keep a close eye on this spot. By the way, right next to this hideout, there's a soccer field where a brand new showdown between the bears and the gnomes is kicking off. It's still a mystery whether this storyline is actually going anywhere, but we're definitely keeping tabs on it just in case. Oh, and right next to that field, there's a mountain with a pretty familiar shape. Wait, is that a straight-up Lion King Easter egg? Let me know your theories in the comments below. Aside from those secrets, we've officially entered the most active storyline phase we've seen in years. And I know for a fact that right before jumping out of the battle bus into this new season, the entire community was staring at their monitors and screaming. The reveal that Geno was hiding under the visitor helmet this entire time is still blowing my mind. It flips the entire narrative upside down. If you want to know how Geno is actually tied to the last reality, where the Foundation disappeared to, whether Jones is going to survive his coma, and what mega twist is waiting for us at the very end of the chapter, you have to stay locked in. Kicking things off in Chapter 7, an alien ship piloted by the Dark Voyager starts wreaking havoc on the island. His main gig? Snagging the Zero Point fragments to piece it all back together. But that's no walk in the park, so he teams up with the Ice King, basically one of the heaviest hitters in the Fortnite universe. A dude capable of putting any rival on ice, no matter what reality they crawl out of. To shut them down, Hope and Jones team up with the Order. She's part of the Seven, Fortnite's most goated squad fighting for the freedom of all realities. The group actually split up years ago, so the Order puts out a distress call that pulls in the Visitor, just not the version she remembered. Regardless, he joins the crew, and the 4 of them go hunting for their leader, the Foundation. He was chilling, literally frozen in the Ice King's castle, but thanks to his tracker and thermal suit, he breaks out, kicking off a brutal revenge war. Team Foundation versus Team Ice King. While this showdown wrapped up with the season's final live event, along the way we saw the 7 leveling up, pulling in backup like Overwatch and the Elites. But a mole totally flushed all that help down the drain. Yep, I'm talking about the Visitor. Turns out, he was the mastermind who engineered a weapon that would later cripple the Foundation, practically handing the win to the Ice King, as we all know.
You fine, you son of a...
It is absolutely crucial to get this straight, because after 9 solid years of Fortnite, we are finally staring down the big bad. Geno is the founder of the Imagined Order, a shady syndicate, hell-bent on controlling the Zero Point while micromanaging the lives of everyone on the island. This turf war was the main event throughout Chapters 2 and 3. But after the Fortnite X Marvel comics and the Chapter 3 Season 2 live event, we witnessed the ultimate showdown pitting the villains against the 7. Ironically enough, the 7's roster includes the Order and the Imagined, the literal namesakes of Geno's organization. Major plot twist, they're actually his daughters, and it's the Imagined who steps up to take out her own dad, though it cost her her life to pull it off. With that, the Imagined Order crumbled. But the ultimate curveball? Geno actually survived, and worse, he was out for blood. His first move was dispatching the Herald, who steamrolled through most of the 7 by turning them into chrome.
Starting to think this may be a problem. Get out of here! That's Uno!
As the years rolled by, Fortnite kept evolving. The 7 were battered, scattered across different realities. Meanwhile, Geno was cooking up his ultimate master plan to wipe out the squad completely, going undercover as one of their own. He didn't just replace the guy we all knew, though. He swapped in for a version from the OG reality. Right now, we still don't know if he straight up engineered that reality himself, or if he just hitched a ride on a universe that already existed. But honestly, for what happens next, it doesn't even matter. Like I mentioned earlier, this imposter hits the island after the Order's SOS and acts like he's playing for the Seven's team. First, he bails out the Foundation, and then throws down against the Ice King. But this is exactly where he fumbles and makes his second massive mistake: building that weapon to cripple the Foundation. Luckily for him, it totally flew under the radar, so as of right now, Geno is still kicking it as a member of the squad. I say second mistake because his first major red flag was getting on the Order's bad side, you know, his own daughter. We caught wind of this chatting with her last season, but it kind of got brushed off since we had no clue who he really was. Now that we know he's the one responsible for her sister's death, it makes total sense that her gut was screaming not to trust this dude. Oddly enough, after the event I'm about to break down, it seems like she's actually starting to trust the Visitor a little more. With all that backstory out of the way, let's jump into the most backstabbing event in Fortnite history. It kicks off with Geno selling out the Seven, leaking intel to the Dark Voyager that the Foundation and his crew were setting a trap for the Ice King. That's why his ambush was so perfectly coordinated.
The final shard will soon be returned to its home. The Foundation and his team wait, hoping to spring their trap. Let them. The surprise belongs to us. Rise. Follow me, and the Foundation will crumble. Let them hear us.
The second we arrive, the Dark Voyager gears up to hijack the 0 point, while the Foundation is standing there thinking his master plan is going off without a hitch.
There's only one thing left to say.
Porcupine, you son of a... Ah! Open fire! Malfunctioning! Foundation!
Thank God the Foundation had a plan B up his sleeve. That backup plan plunged us into the most insane cinematic slugfest we've ever witnessed in Fortnite between the Ice King and the Foundation. For a hot minute, it looked like The Rock had the whole fight totally locked down.
You trapped me! Froze me! Now this ends with me! Lost your step.
At this point, all the Ice King fanboys were hyped about the dub, but Geno's masterclass in manipulation had to keep rolling.
The Foundation is finished. You've played your part well, Ice King.
consider our agreement complete.
And boom, with the 0 point completely rebuilt and sitting in the hands of the Dark Voyager, we were hurled into the wildest season-to-season transition in Fortnite history. Right when things looked absolutely doomed, the Rift Butterflies pulled a total Hail Mary, gifting us the Infinity Blade that had absorbed the 0 point. With that bad boy, we sliced the Voyager's ship clean in half and saved the island.